Hey guys, it's Graham. What's cracking? A bit of book news tonight. A couple of pieces here. The big one that probably blew up way more than he was expecting was Larry Correia started trending on X and even had a hit piece written against him on MSN.com for the dedication to his upcoming book, Heart of the Mountain, which will conclude his Saga of the Forgotten Warriors series. I have read this book. There was the advanced arc that came out, and I grabbed a copy of that, and I've got the hardcover on pre-order because this series has been excellent from the very first book, which came out 10 years ago. Yeah, 2015 was when Son of the Black Sword came out, and a couple of them, they haven't come out evenly, like every 2 years. Sometimes it's been like 3 or 4 years between books, but Larry's really good about communicating with his readers about what's going on and what release dates are and why. And like whenever he commits to something, he sticks to it, which is why there are so many committed Correia readers, because like they know that he's not out goofing off or fleecing them or whatever. Like he's going to put his best effort into a book, and when they get it, it's going to be worth the read. I've been reading Larry Correia books for almost 16 years now that I've put a number on it. Holy cow. This is an epic fantasy series set in a world with a distinctly Southeast Asian flavor, and the ending is as epic as the rest of the series, and it's got like one of the most satisfying endings to a series that I've read in a long time. Now, for years, Correia has been saying on his personal site and on the Writer Dojo podcast that he was going to dedicate the final book to George R.R. Martin, and that the joke was going to be, see, George, it's not that hard, because Larry's finishing a series. And Larry got his galley copies this week, and he's been posting pictures of like, hey, this is what the whole series looks like, all of them stacked up in hardcover. And then he posted a picture of the dedication on the inside cover, and as it does, it went viral. Now, late last year, I had a video just talking about like, well, what's going to happen if, if George R.R. Martin does pass away without finishing the series, and the publisher decides to hire somebody else out to do it? Who would they get? And it was an idle thought that I put out there. I've only read the first Song of Ice and Fire book, so decided that the series wasn't for me, but I was thinking about it in the context of like, well, Brandon Sanderson got hired to finish Wheel of Time, and that really catapulted him ahead in his career. Who might similarly go through that for Song of Ice and Fire? And a couple of people pointed out in the comments, I guess Martin has said that he doesn't want anybody else to finish it. So, okay, I didn't know that. I'm not so well versed on this series. A few of them were even diplomatic about it. But the point is that making a video about George R.R. Martin brought a lot of a-holes out of the woodwork. Like, there were people that just came out swinging because I said anything at all about the fact that this book was coming out and it was late. Well, then you take somebody with Larry Correia's following on X and amplify it, and the George R.R. Martin defenders just came out of the woodwork and started screaming with all these personal attacks and, you're a nothing author. And I'm like, he literally bought 2 mountains and put a house on it next to a ski lodge, because he makes so much freaking money off of his books. Like he's not making, I don't know, $25 million a year like George R.R. Martin is for not writing the next book in his series. But Larry's not nobody. He's not insignificant. He's been a force culturally and financially in publishing for a decade and a half at this point. But this is apparently a very sensitive subject for the Martin defenders, who swear that their guy is totally for real working hard on the next book, and it's definitely going to come out any day now. And, it's been a point that Larry has brought up a lot over the years, and now he put a dedication in his book, and they are very bigly mad about it. The thing is, in this new age with X being a monetized service, if you've got a blue check account on the site, you get paid for the exposure of your tweets. And the more they make the rounds, you'll eventually get a piece of the ad revenue that's played in the posts that you're making. And so Larry, who's just doing what he's been doing this entire time, ever since I started reading his site back in 2010, 2009 maybe. He's always been posting like this on his site, on Facebook, and on X. And just now he actually gets monetization and gets free marketing out of it. This is a point that I've made before. It's worth emphasizing again here. Take it from an indie author. If you are mad at something in the publishing world and you want it to suffer, the most devastating thing that you can do is ignore it and not share it and not retweet it. Don't even vague post about it. Don't even, what do they call it, Voldemorting? When you're talking about something without naming it so that the algorithm doesn't pick up on it, so that the search alerts don't pick up on it, you're still going to make people curious. You're going to send them down the rabbit hole. You're going to broadcast and boost the signal. MSN saying that this mean author is a mean meanie who was mean to George R. R. Martin, and he finished his series and George R. R. Martin didn't, and he's a super extremist right-wing racist. I'm not even going to fix that. All that's going to do is tell people who hate MSN, and there are a lot of them, hey, there's this book series I might want to check out because they say this about this author, and they say this about me, they say this about anybody who's got even a lick of public common sense. I wonder what this is. Maybe I should investigate. And so this quip that went from being a Larry Correia book dedication that was kind of tongue-in-cheek but also serious suddenly became a very powerful marketing tool about 3 weeks before the book came out. I am laughing. I am amused. So yeah, you want something to die, just ignore it. But these people can't help themselves. They are emotionally invested in the delusion that George R. R. Martin is going to finish his series. He's not. Read something else. The other big piece of news that broke is something to do with Neil Gaiman having allegations made against him. I've got friends, we'll say in quote-unquote my camp, who are spiking footballs on this just because they don't like Neil Gaiman. I'm holding to the standard that I have here, where I'm not involved. I don't know anything. At this point, we are dealing with allegations and accusations. There's a legal process for this kind of thing. Let the legal process do what it's supposed to do. Whether it's allegations made against one side or the other, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I don't have a horse in this race. I maintain that I think Neil Gaiman is an overrated writer. I've liked maybe 2 of his books that I've read, and the unfortunate thing is that they were the first 2 of his that I read, and so I just assumed that I would read something else of his and it would be good, and I ended up reading like 7 of his titles before I finally realized, like, no, this guy sucks, and I just got lucky the first 2 times. I've never met him. I don't know him. I do know professional published authors who know him and have had interactions with him and didn't have anything bad to say about him. They liked him. I'm not defending him. I'm not attacking him or accusing him. This is just news that broke. We'll see what happens. Based on the hypersexualized content in a lot of his books, it wouldn't surprise me if this stuff turned out to be true. And that content has a lot to do with what I don't like about his books, but it's not the main reason. It's just that, in general, I think he's overrated, and I don't see the value in what he's putting out there. But alas, it is what it is. When it comes to cases like this where somebody is accused of sexual misconduct a couple of years after the fact, let the investigators do their job. We'll see what happens. That's pretty much it in publishing world. I feel like there was a third piece of news, but I've already forgotten what it is. The point is, if you like something and you want it to succeed, read it and tell your friends, boost the signal. If you really don't like something or someone and you don't want them to succeed, don't go quote tweeting and reposting and sharing their stuff. Ew, this is bad. Look how bad this is. Ew, My rule on X is this, especially when somebody's got a blue check. Screen cap, then own them. Even if you quote tweet and say, oh, this is bad, dumb, whatever, you are adding to the visibility of that post. and you are effectively paying that person for whatever it is that they said that you hated or disliked or whatever. I think the advantage of this monetization model is that hopefully, with more people being aware of how that works, you will get people to share things that they are positive about. But then again, that hasn't really gone that way with YouTube. There are people who have built an entire cottage industry about how much they hate certain movies, and they've got an audience for that. Whatever. If there are things that are uplifting, praiseworthy, or of good report, we seek after these things. Anyway, that's the book video for today. Y'all drive safe. See you out there.